My name is Somashekar, course faculty for this course. Hello friends, very good morning to one and all. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture 22nd. Please note, you have studied in the last lecture the following contents: circuit diagram, system of classification of circuits, fundamental laws of hydraulic circuit, the energy transfer process, technical details of hydraulic circuits and components, general requirements for a hydraulic circuit design. Also, we have discussed the many circuit with a defined task and how to select the various components and how to arrange to meet the defined task. In today's lecture, we will discuss in detail some of the typical pneumatic circuits and its applications. Move on to the organization of presentation of lecture 23rd. We will begin with pneumatic control system, recap, introduction very quickly, air tools, basic design features of pneumatic circuits, designations to be followed while designing the pneumatic circuit, breakdown of a control chain, hardware arrangement for signal flow in fluid power systems and electrical system, how the signal flow will take place from the input to the output element. Building up the circuit diagram, which includes again from the signal input to the signal output, there are various elements how to select and how to arrange for the proper signal flow from the input to the output. As I have told you, we will discuss the task based pneumatic circuits, how to select the various components to meet the defined task. We will discuss some typical circuits of the pneumatics in the today's class. Please understand friends, the circuits are very important in industry. You have to practice all the circuits by drawing the schematics on your papers. Finally, we will conclude the today's lecture. As we discussed in the previous class, details on pneumatic control system, how it differ from the hydraulic systems. The pneumatic control systems are generally much quicker, less precise than the hydraulic system, because as we already know that air is compressible in nature. Many of the devices used in hydraulic like cylinders, motors, DCVs, FCVs are very much similar in construction and operations. Only the working media is different. In hydraulics, incompressible fluids; in pneumatics, compressed gases, generally the air. Pneumatic components are subjected to much lower pressures and hence they are of much lighter constructions than the hydraulic components. Some of the typical components in the pneumatic systems are air compressor for the air production, control elements which includes the direction control valves, pressure control valves and a flow control valves, and actuator. Similar to the hydraulics, here also we are using the linear actuators, piston and cylinders, and the rotary actuator. Here we can call it as a air motors. Then variants are there to do the different works, like a telescopic cylinders are much more. Because of lower pressures used in pneumatic systems, pneumatic cylinders have much lower force capability and hence they are appropriate for the applications that requires the high speed and low forces and do not require a high degree of precision. Pneumatic cylinders are often used in automation equipment to assemble, sort, package, etc., and are used for clamps and low capacity presses, bending machines, much more. Other components such as quick exhaust valves, time delay valves, memory valves, pressure regulators, lubricators, dryers, filter regulator lubricator units, briefly known as FRL units, and air tools are unique to the pneumatics. Please understand this. These are especially are seen in the pneumatic control systems. Typical pictorial representations are air filters, air regulators, air lubricators, and FRL unit, filter regulator lubricator unit, and air dryers and shuttle valves and much more we will see in the today's class. Widespread use of pneumatics in industry, construction, automotive applications shows the use of large variety of air tools for light and medium duty jobs. Air consumption is one of the most important specifications for air tools, cylinders, motors, and other pneumatically driven devices. So, amount of air consumed during the operation of any pneumatic device depends primarily on the air pressure, magnitude of the load, and a frequency of usage. Other factors such as mechanical friction and a leakage, which in turn depends on the selection of pipings, fittings, connectors, quality of these components, mainly the surface finish, etc., are also significant. Quickly we will see friends now air tools, also known as air powered hand tools. Typically, air powered hand tools are numerous used in industry. Some of them are, I am listing here, they are the air grinders, air impact wrenches, air sanders, paint sprayers, air drills, air screwdrivers, air riveting hammers, air hoists, air blow guns, air saws, air nail guns, air chippers, air staple guns, orbital sanders, jackhammers. The many tools are there. These are known as typical air powered hand tools. They will use the compressed air for their operations. Now quickly we will move on to the basic design features of pneumatic circuits. Please remember friends, no much difference between the pneumatic circuit and a hydraulic circuit. Main differences are energy media. As I have told you, here we are using the compressed air. Then FRL units for the secondary air preparations. You have seen already in the previous class. And outlet from the pneumatic cylinder exhausted directly to the atmosphere. But in the hydraulics, the exhaust oil, return oil will goes to the tank through the filters, correct? Return line filter. But here no, directly exhaust to the atmosphere. So, pneumatic elements like power source, valves, actuators and other accessories like a FRL unit, pressure gauges, accumulator, safety valves, limit switches and much more linked together through the pipelines and connections to form the pneumatic circuit diagram to represent a preconceived interrelated motion of machine functions or a task. Like a electrical circuit diagrams, RCI elements. Pneumatic circuit diagrams are drawn symbolically using the fluid power symbols. These things we have discussed in the beginning of the course. In pneumatic circuits, the return line from the valve is not needed, as this is directly exhaust to the atmosphere, which saves the money due to the less use of pipes and fittings and also reduces the worries of leakage. The air is directly exhaust to the atmosphere and it makes a more noise, and hence always use of air mufflers or silencers are recommended in the pneumatics system. Flow control valves are the ideal solution in controlling the speed of the actuator, similarly in the hydraulics. Similarly, air pressure is regulated using the pressure regulating valves. Key points to remember while drawing the pneumatic circuits: practice makes the man perfect. That's why I am requesting all the students practice the more circuits from the task dependent, how to select the various components and join to do the useful work. So, to start understanding the problem definition, very neat, clear and precise manner. Think and identify the basic components required to complete the defined task with the least number of components. Recall their symbolic representations of the selected components and join these symbols systematically to make the universal circuit. Always you have to draw in the null position. Null position means all actuators are in the retracted position, similar to the hydraulics, as I have told you in the previous class. Retracted position, as I have told you. Afterward, analyze and see the fluid flow directions for each actuated positions of the DCV to understand the working motion of the actuator, how they will operate. Incorporate always the safety valves, the pressure gauges and limit switches as much as possible, as because we are moving towards the IoT concepts. Then quickly we will see the designations to be followed while designing the pneumatic circuits. Two types of designations have been found to be suitable and are frequently encountered as shown in the figure below. You will see there are two types of designations for the valves, actuators, all. Here I am showing you the direction control valves, how they will represent. As I have told you here, you will see designation using the digits like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 14 like this. Here 1 is for the pump port and 5 and 3 for exhaust port, correct? And 4 and 2 for the your actuator ports, and 14 and 12 are the pilot signals. You have to represent all the valves using the number systems, or like as usual how we are doing in the hydraulic control systems, like a P port is P, exhaust port E, symbolically you have to represent using the letters. A and B are the output ports or actuator ports, and X and Y are the pilot signals. You have to represent like this or like this. Both are allowed. We will continue some of the designations. Here I am showing you here many things here, friends. You will understand this. Here I am showing you the cylinders, extended positions, retracted position and some valves. You will see here, friends, designation of the working elements like cylinders, motors. If many are there in the sequencing of the circuits or in the design of the multiple actuators, That time you have to represent each cylinders A, B, C, D like this, and designation of the limit switches which are actuated in the rear end position of the cylinders A, B, C, D, you have to represent like this: A naught, B naught, C naught, small d, all small letters. Similarly, designation of the limit switches which are actuated in the extended position of the cylinders. How to represent? Small a1, b1, c1. Here I have shown you here. You will see here I am shown here for the cylinder A naught. It is the retracted position of the limit switch. Here extended position where the cylinder will extend the limit switch A1. Here you will see next forward motion of the cylinder. When the cylinder will extend, it is represented A plus. You will see here A plus is going on now. Then you will see return motion of the cylinder. Here you will see return motion of the cylinder is represented using A minus. Similarly for the B cylinder, C cylinder, D cylinders. Then you will see pilot signals X, Y, Z or number systems like a 12 and 14. Here you will see 12 and 14 or X and Y are the pilot signals. Also you will remember friends, FRL units, very very important it is in the pneumatic system. Filter, regulator, lubricator unit, it is represented rectangle with the circle with arrow, then one line and dotted line, and point 1 power source or energy connections, the circle with dot you have to show. These are the some of the designations to be followed in the designing of the pneumatic circuit. Now we will see some of the important unique valves in the pneumatic control systems. We discussed in the previous classes, but these are very essentials to understand the pneumatic circuits. I am listing here now. Can you identify the difference between the valves? As I have told you, this is a spool, this is a push button, the valve body, and these are the ports. Same here, correct? This is a stiff spring to make the valve connections, correct? As we have seen, now we will see the both are different or both are same. Here valve it is, I have shown you here. Now identify the ports first. Here you will see the pressure port, one port is there, tank port, one tank port is there, actuator ports A and B, two are there. Here also the pressure port 1, exhaust port 2 are there, 2E, meaning exhausting the air. Then actuator ports A and B. The valve position, as I have told you, the one is in the null position or one more is in the actuated position. 2 valve position, here also 2 valve position. Read as, this you can read as, please understand, 4/2 directional control valve found in hydraulics. You will see this 4/2 DCV it is found in pneumatics, because you will see friends, exhaust is direct to the atmosphere, no cutting of the in the valve body, 2 exhaust ports, the purpose is same. That is why even though it is having the 5 port, it can be treated in the pneumatics as 4/2 DCV. Please understand this. Next we will move on to the one more valve. Can you please identify the difference between these two, as I already shown you in the previous slide. Quickly we will see the number of ports, all this thing. Number of ports, the pressure port is there, correct friends, exhaust port, 2 exhaust port, and actuator ports A and B. Immediately you have to tell this is a 4/2, the spring centered push button actuated direction control valve, correct friend. 2 valve positions, null position, actuated position. This is always the null positions, all the numbers are written. Please understand this. When you will push this button, always it will goes to the right side actuation. Then here also you will see friends, the pressure port is 1. Number system it is 1 is always a pressure port. Odd numbers are there, no? You will see here exhaust ports are odd number 3, 5. Even number 2 and 4 for the actuator ports. The pilot ports are 14 and 12. understand this. The valve is 2 position, as I have told you. How to read this? This is a 4/2 DCV found in pneumatics. This is also, you can call it as a 5/2 DCV, because these 12 and 14 serve as a pilot signal. That is why I am treating as a 1. Similarly, exhaust port, no, that is why you will call it as a 5/2 DCV found in pneumatics. Or you will call it as like this, the 4/2 DCV, similar to here, but pilot operated. Both are same, but better to will call 5/2 DCV found in pneumatics. Can you please identify the difference between these valves? You have seen already this, correct? Here you are seen already in the direction control valve chapter. What is this? Can you please, how many ports are there? P port is there, A port is there, E port is there. In the null position, P port is blocked, meaning it is a 3/2 direction control valve. The spring centered pressure port is blocked. What is this? Can you please tell me here? Only in one direction valve is get actuated. In the return direction it will not. How you are placing this? This is very important. What is this? 3/2A valve it is. Actuation by roller lever in one direction of travel. Spring return normally closed. Please understand, normally closed. Pressure port is blocked. Brief functioning of the idle return roller valve is already explained in the previous chapter. Very quickly I will show you. When the cylinder is extending, makes the valve actuates. You will see it actuates, extended position. Then cylinder is fully extended, valve is released. Only it will, when it will completely extend, identify only one, afterward it will release. See here. Then when returning, what happens? Cylinder is retracting, valve is not actuates, slides over it, it will slides over it, it will not actuate. Then cylinder is fully retracted, valve is not actuates, meaning in only one direction. Momentarily when it will fully extends, it will actuate, then it will release. If you will place it in the retracted position also possible, where you are placing this 3/2 idle return roller valve matters. These are very, very important in the sequencing of the circuits, because when the cylinder A extend, then B will extend. How to determine this? Using 3/2 idle return roller valves. Then I will show you some more valves. Pneumatic logic control, we are using the OR function valve. You already studied this OR gates in the digital electronics. Same way here the pneumatic valves are there. The pneumatic OR valve, it is known as a shuttle valve, also called a double check valve. It is one of the derivative of the NRV to achieve the OR function as follows. You will see here friends, this one is a shuttle valve. The Z is an output, whatever you will call. It will receive the signal. These are the two pilots, whatever you will call. Two valves are there, 3/2 valves are there. Here one 3/2 valve, here one more 3/2 valve. What happens here friends? When the Z will receive the flow, either here or here, which one you will actuate? You will see now. When you will actuate this, what happens? The pneumatic energy will come, push the ball here, Z will receiving the flow from here. Or when you will press this, what happen? Ball will slides and close this, Z will receive the flow from this valve, 3/2A valve. This is the OR function. This is the shuttle valve, very, very important. Here I am showing you the how it works. Here you will see the signal 14 is there, ball will slide and close here, 2 is receiving the flow from 14. Similarly, when the signal is at the 12, what happen? Ball will close the 14 block, 2 will receive the flow from 12. How to represent this? The double check valve. 2 will receive either from 12 or a 14, whichever is at the highest pressure. Now you will see here logic table where X and Y, these are the signals 12 and 14. When they are 0, 0, no actuations here, then output is 0. whenever any one of the signal you will press this or this, the output will be on. Or when you will press the both button, the ball will slide to the middle, then it will receive the flow. Okay? The meaning here, the X and Y are the inputs, A is an output, here it is a Z, whatever it may be. Okay? X is greater than or equal to 1, output is there. Similarly, Y is greater than or equal to 1, output is from the Y. Very, very simple, friends, it is. Now, we will move on to the pneumatic logic control, the AND function valves. You will see here how it will work. The Z is an output, whatever it is. Now, always you have to draw the signal in the outlet positions, correct? When I will get the Z, when you will press this, what happen here it will come, but again it is locked position. You will see here when I will press this, what happen? This is activated, correct? It will jump to the activated position. From the null, here it will jump, but again it is closed here, you will see. When I will receive the flow Z here, when you will press only, if you will press only this, what happen here? It is a null position, it will not, correct? Only it will receive the flow when you will press both 3/2 DCV. You have to press both 3/2 DCV, only Z will receive the flow, otherwise no. Meaning it is a AND function. Please remember, what is this? AND functions valve. How it is? I will show you here. The above function is achieved through two pressure valve, the pneumatic AND valve. It is also the derivative of the NRV. You will see here, when the signal at 12, 2 will not receive any flow. Then signal at 12 and 14, that time only it will receive. How to represent this? You will see, friends. Symbolically, it is represented like this. It is a AND function valve. Here I am showing you here the truth table, X and Y, E. How it is? Only when both signals are present, A will receive the flow. Otherwise, no opening of the valve for the Z or A, whatever it is. Move on to the pneumatic logic control, here NOT function valve. A logic NOT applies to the state of the output when the operating signal is present. Please note, the output is simply an inversion of the operating signal, that is the input signal. It is an inversion. The valve shown below is normally open type, that is without any signal to the valve. It is always get opened in the normal position. You will see here, the whatever the valve I am showing you here, again 3/2 a valve it is. It is an open type. Z will receive the signal in the null position. When you will press this, the Z will not receive. The other way around also is possible. In the null position, Z will not receive the flow. When you will press the button, no, correct, it will receive the flow. See here, this is a very, very important. Z is receiving the signal when there is no here. When you will press this, what happens? Z will not receive. Always it is an inversion of the input signal. When the signal X is present, there is no output. When the X is removed immediately, there is an output.